let me ask y'all something. Was something supposed to happen today? I'm just trying to figure out why I have a sneaking suspicion that something was supposed to happen today. How's everybody going? It's JT Productions, and this is something. So today, the first week of the College Football Playoff Top 25 came out, and let's just review over what they did. Well, at number 25, UCF, fine with me. Texas, I'm not shocked, but kind of surprised they let them in. Quinn Ewers, great quarterback. They've kind of struggled the last couple of weeks, but I'm sure they'll get turned around. Oregon State, they played good football. Fine with them at 23. NC State has looked like a complete, just meatless skeleton out there, especially without Devin Leary. They're going to lose to Wake Forest this week, so they'll be out of it. Wake Forest, they absolutely got destroyed by Louisville last week. I guess 21 is going to be fine until they get beat by somebody else. Syracuse at 20. I mean, we haven't seen them play Wake Forest, so we don't know if they're better than them or not. I'm sure we will eventually. I'm not familiar with their schedule right now, but I guess they're fine at 20. Sean Tucker's pretty good, and shows Garrett Schrader and all them. Tulane at 19. This was sort of surprising. I'm surprised they let a group of 5 team not named Cincinnati or UCF out of the top 20. But here we are. Tulane only has 1 loss. I forget who it was to, but they also beat Kansas State. They've looked good, so I'm fine with them at 19. Oklahoma State got absolutely shut out by Kansas State. They were at, 7, 8, 9. They dropped 18. We'll see if they can bounce back this week. North Carolina, defense is atrocious, but their quarterback, I'm blanking on his name right now, is very good, and they have a pretty good offense. If they meet Clemson in the ACC Championship, then, I mean, they can put up a fight if the offense can hold up against that defensive front of Clemson. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. Illinois, Brett Bielema is going to screw this up somehow. I know it. But right now they're 7-1, only lost to Indiana in week 1 by a score maybe. But they got to play Michigan in it at some point this season, so we'll see if they remain with only 1 loss. Penn State, you're a disgrace. 3 turnovers against Ohio State. Sean Clifford, you had a good run. 15, I mean, honestly, I put you lower than that. In my rankings, I believe I have you at 22, just as to say, prove that you are actually in there with Ohio State and Michigan instead of just getting blown out by them every year. Now I get they happen every year. It's a figure of speech. 14, Utah, fine with that. They have 2 losses. It's fine that they're at 14. Their 2 losses were to Florida and UCLA. That Florida loss is looking pretty bad right now, though. But they're fine right there. Kansas State, 6-2. If only you had not lost to Tulane, dude, you would be in the top 10, maybe even top 5 right now. Which, I don't know, there's a pretty atrocious thing that happened in the top 7 that kind of, well, I mean, we'll get there. 12, UCLA, 1 loss was to Oregon in a blowout. Fine with that for now. Ole Miss, 8-1. 1 loss was to LSU in a blowout, but granted, you did lose both of your tackles in that game, and that just let LSU hunker down and sick your quarterback. So, I mean, you have 1 loss, but you have everything in front of you. Number 10, LSU. Whoa, there you go, Tigers. Brian Kelly has finally got his feet under him and is running this program well. They'll have a chance to prove it against Alabama this week. And we'll see how that goes. Number 9, USC. I mean, it's fine. They've looked good. They're pretty good at forcing turnovers on the defensive side. Lincoln Riley's got the offense running. Their 1 loss was a 2-point conversion against Utah. So we'll just have to see. They do play UCLA still, and that's going to be a good game. Number 8, Oregon. I'm fine with them here. Bo Nix has been pretty good this year. Now, I don't agree with the statement that he made about how they would probably beat Georgia and it wouldn't be close. I mean, if you make it to the playoffs, we can run it back, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And then we were here, the top 7. Oh, did I have a couple of things to say about this. So, number 7, they put TCU 8-0 with wins against Oklahoma, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and others such as that were ranked at the time. And they just brought them out of it. I mean, they've looked very good. They don't have the resume of Tennessee right now, but they're close. And number 6, Alabama, 7-1. Now, I get it. Alabama's history of coming back from these losses, but they've just not looked good. Their 2 best games, the games that are Power 5 that they looked the best in were against Vanderbilt and Arkansas. In Arkansas, you were playing a backup quarterback for most of the game, and Arkansas almost made a comeback. Mississippi State, you didn't look particularly well against them in the first half. Even though you scored 24, they pretty much hand-gifted you that with multiple 4th down stops that you made, and you only got 6 points in the second half. What's going on there, dude? I mean, we'll see against LSU this week. If you come out and dominate LSU, and I'll give it to you, you can be in the top 5, top 6. Then here you go, 5-4. But anyways, TCU, I mean, you could be at 6, you could be at 7. It's whatever. Alabama's just Alabama, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Number 5, Michigan. If only you would schedule somebody besides the schools of the deaf and blind. That's why you're below Clemson, who has struggled with multiple teams. But they're 8-0. Why do they favor Clemson so much? You will not see me root for Alabama a lot, but if they went and played Clemson, I would root for Alabama so hard to absolutely blow Clemson out of the water. I just cannot stand that they just... It's not jealousy. It's just they play in the worst conference in college football. Besides them, who's the best team in the ACC? Syracuse? They would probably not score a point in the first round if it came against Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, maybe even Tennessee, or TCU, or even Oregon. They would get blown out by anybody in the top 10. North Carolina, their defense ain't going to win them games. They may score, but they won't score enough. Who else? NC State, they wouldn't score a point either. Wake Forest, they probably score a point, but look what happened against Louisville. It would be like that, but times 10. Clemson is just in a joke of a conference that they get to coast through and struggle win through everything. Now, I'll give it to them. In 2016, they did the same thing, but you don't have a Deshaun Watson. And you probably wouldn't take him right now with what's happening. But anyways, Michigan should be at 4. Now, my biggest issue, top 3. These are all interchangeable. I get that. But why? Why do you got to do this again? We were primed for a 1-2 matchup in Athens this weekend. The College Football Playoff Committee says, no, we think Ohio State, who's playing in a conference that only has 2 quality teams, one that was limping and got ran on by both Michigan and Ohio State at the end of the game. For Ohio State, Michigan just trounced them. That's their best win. Georgia beat the 8th best team by your qualifications by 46. And you might come out, but you struggle with Missouri. You struggle with Kent State. We beat Kent State 39-22. We came out in that game and sleptwalked through it. I get that. We went to the wire with Missouri in an environment that was a lot louder than it usually is. We're the defending national champions. Do you not think that teams are going to be looking to absolutely destroy us? To absolutely come out and pull the upset? Ohio State wouldn't know that. They haven't won one since 2014. And what happened the next year? You didn't win your conference. Michigan State did. And look what they're doing. They're stomping Michigan players into the ground. Literally. The Ohio State bias is just terrible. You may say SEC bias. Look at this crap. This is the second time this has happened. Last time was in 2019 when they put Ohio State at 1 over Alabama and LSU. Who won the national championship that season, Buckeye fans? That's what I thought. LSU. And, Alabama would have been in it too if Tua had not been absolutely broke his hip against Mississippi State and had to sit out the Auburn game. They would have been at 4. They would have played LSU again. And you still wouldn't have made it to the national championship because you got beat by Clemson. Because Georgia reject Justin Fields decided to throw an interception. I guess the gift that gives on giving. Anyways, number 1 Tennessee. That's fine. That's just enough motivation for us this Saturday. Fine with that. Ohio State. I hope you get what's coming to you this January. Or whenever the playoffs will be played. Either end of December or early January. I hope you play Tennessee if they get in. I hope you play Tennessee and get boat race to the end and lose on a duck of a field goal that they beat Alabama on. That would be very, very hysterical. Now, Tennessee. Would you sit by me just a second? All your fans that are trash talking, that's fine. That's fine. But if I see another person bring up what happened in 2015 with Nick Chubb breaking his leg on y'all's field, y'all laughing about it, y'all remember the last time y'all did that, don't y'all? 41-0.